Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called UFO Crash Sites with Surviving Aliens. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on the notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Also, we ask that you post a link of today's show on all your social media to help get the word out. Now, let's get started. For decades, the public has been hearing about UFO crash sites. But the stories which really intrigue the public are the crash sites which supposedly had surviving alien creatures still alive at the site. Now, when we started to research this, something became very obvious to us, and that is how many people either don't want to discuss this topic or were prevented from doing so. So, then we started to discuss the possibility of approaching this differently. First, we thought, let's limit the research to those supposed UFO crash sites that required local cities to dispatch an ambulance or police authorities to the crash site. Then we considered limiting our research to alien aircraft that appeared to be largely intact when they crash landed. The assumption being that aliens themselves would be more likely to survive a crash if their UFO was intact when it hit the ground. Next, we analyzed crash sites in which the authorities took more than 24 hours to respond to a UFO crash. The presumption being that if you took longer than 24 hours for the authorities to get to the crash sites, then it would be more likely that the alien creatures might have successfully wandered away from their UFO. If they were not taken into custody by the authorities, that is. Then we thought, wouldn't it be interesting if when these aliens walked away from their crash sites, some of them were able to somehow assimilate with a neighboring or distant community of other surviving alien creatures? Why does everybody always assume that the alien creatures would look so different from humans? They just assume they'd have huge heads and tiny bodies and enormous eyes. What if they were indistinguishable from earthly humans? What if their IQs were so high that they could quickly learn to speak English? English without an accent. Who knows what their accents might be like? What if there was a small town out there somewhere where these new aliens who had just crashed on Earth could migrate to and become part of a larger alien community of previously crashed UFOs? What would that community look like to the outside world? We think that they would go out of their way to look and behave as much like other humans as possible. Presumably, their children might have higher test scores at school. They might be taller than the average American instead of being smaller. They may have an interest in aerospace careers. They may have a great ability to forecast future events because in many cases, they or their predecessors had or have the ability to travel through time and space, so they already know what's in store for the future of Earth. We're guessing they would also go to great lengths to avoid the attention of outsiders and the media. The last thing that they would want to have is outsiders snooping around and investigating them. We're also guessing that the crime rates of these communities would be extremely low or zero because once again, they don't want the authorities snooping about, investigating things in their community. Now, how would these theoretical aliens make a living? What occupation or trades would they migrate to? Well, one possibility is that since they might already know the future, they would find ways to monetize their knowledge of future events that are going to happen on Earth very soon. Perhaps they would buy and sell stocks and other investments because of those anticipated future events. Another possibility is that they may have advanced knowledge of historical events or new business opportunities that will occur soon. And then they could capitalize on those events. Imagine if they knew that a company called Apple was going to be formed soon and they invested in it heavily before the rest of the world knew how significant it would be. So, if these alien communities did exist, how would we locate them? What sort of behavior or signs would these communities possess that would make them identifiable to us? We believe they would be identifiable because of their propensity for having higher achievements and their ability to generate income off the stock market and investments in companies. But there would also be something more which pointed in their direction, something that made them more identifiable to normal humans. And then it occurred to us, their DNA would reveal some differences if they were compared to more normal Earthlings. And those differences would help make them more easily identifiable. So, To identify them, one would have to scan DNA databases for these communities of inhabitants. But how would we find these communities? Well, once the differences in these DNA tests were determined, then we would have to perform a nationwide DNA scan of cities and communities that possessed a larger percentage of such individuals with slightly different DNA, indicating that they may in fact be aliens from another world. Now, there are already commercial companies out there which possess massive national databases of DNA. We're guessing that that would be the quickest way to locate and track the possible existence of such aliens who theoretically crawled out of the UFO crash site and walked away and joined others in communities just like them. That's one way to do this. I'm sure there are other strategies and options for finding and tracking these aliens. So what happens next? Well, you'll just have to stay tuned. Thank you for watching. I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on the notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Also, we ask that you post a link to today's show on all your social media to help get the word out. We shall see you soon. Bye-bye.